Welcome to Da Vinci's Discourse, where the minds of today's most innovative entrepreneurs are unveiled and explored. And my name is Kyle Campbell, your guide on this journey into the depths of the entrepreneurial psyche. So sit back, relax, and get ready to dive into the minds of the greats. This is Da Vinci's Discourse. If somebody were to ask who you are, bar, coffee shop, whatever, what would you tell them?
I would say I'm a father to my kids, my husband to my wife, Suzette. By the way, my kids right now are in Africa. They're 14 and 16 years old. My son's out in the bush alone without any, he's just surrounded by Africans there for, anyway. So wow. I would say I'm a father, I'm a husband. I'm a follower of God. Very important in my life. I own a Saddleback. I own Saddleback Leather Company, so it's a leather business. We sell leather bags on the internet. So I tell people on the airplane, they go, "What do you do?" "Oh, I sell leather bags on the internet." And they go, "Oh, does that pay the bills? Is that full time?" And I go, "Yeah, pay the bills. I can work from home and get to travel some. It's cool." So yeah, that's Dave Munson.
Badass, dude. I love it. I want to get into the branding of it because you've got a fascinating brand that you guys have developed in the headspace of people, especially your tagline. I love the tagline. What is it exactly? It's we give you something that you can pass on through generations, or something that your family will fight for after you die. What's the exact tagline?
Yeah, they'll fight over it when you're dead.
Yeah, see, I love that, man. It paints a picture just in 5 words. It's beautiful.
Hey, Kyle, hold on one second. Hey, Keegan, would you mind shutting that door over there? And also, if you could keep it down a little bit, tell everyone to keep it down because I'm on a podcast. So here's my office, and I've got this cool office, and it's right by the showroom. So I like to, when people come in, I like to visit with people. So I have my office right here, but we'll keep it. Wanted to. So they'll fight over when you're dead. So when I had my first bag made, I'll tell you the quick story and where that came from.
Please.
I had my first bag made in 1999. I was teaching English down in Mexico, and I wanted a bag to carry my books. And so I looked around, couldn't find a bag, but I found a guy making bags. So I sketched it out, and I was just a volunteer English teacher and just something to carry the books. And so I found a guy making bags. He made it for me, and I got it. And I was telling him as I was designing it, I said, I wanted something that, I was imagining my old study when I'm dead and I'm still warm in the grave, that my grandkids would be shuffling through stuff, looking for the grandpa's old pocket knife or something like that. And they found a bag, and they're like, "Oh, I get this one." And then the other one's like, "No, I get it. No, I get it." And then they're fighting over it, and they're mad at each other. And they want that bag, right? So that was my idea. They'll fight over it when you're dead. And so I had that first bag made, and then I ended up I sold some on the back of my old Land Cruiser with my black lab when I got back to the U.S. Or I had some more made, sold those. People went crazy for them on eBay. So I ended up moving to Juarez for a few years, and slept on the floor with a little $100 a month apartment with no hot water for about 3 years with my dog and old Blue. And but all the money I was saving from not paying rent in the US, I was buying more bags further south. They'd send them up on the bus to the bus station, and I'd take them over to El Paso, and I used a friend's mechanic shop to sell them at night on eBay. And he had Wi-Fi there, so he had a computer and all that. So yeah, that's how it all got going. Met my wife on MySpace in 2006.
No shit.
And yeah, and then we met and started kissing, and then we got married about 5 months later. So we just zipped right on through in 6 months, and then we started a factory in 2008 down in Mexico, and then it's been going ever since.
Sweet, dude. I love the story. You tapped into something at the very beginning of it, right? Selling on the internet, which was a foreign concept, something brand new at the time. And I can't help but to relate that with the AI boom that's going on right now. So how did you know that, first of all, that that was something that you wanted to tap into, that there would be massive opportunity there? And then how do you think we can relate that to an AI idea or opportunity that we're facing in the marketplace right now?
Yeah. So the I just wanted to sell some more bags so that I could keep working with youth. I was a youth worker, so I really wanted to work with youth. And so I thought, hey, if I sold a couple bags a month or one a week or something, man, that'd fund me. I could just do it for free. And so I wasn't really trying to really boom it. I
Mm,
wasn't really trying to like ride this wave.
mm,
But here's the one thing that made it that AI can't compete with. It's relationship.
uh,
And so
mm,
it's relationship. So I used to, when I would sell on eBay, I'd reach out to the people who lost the auction, and I'm like, hey, boogaboo 1212. Maybe next time you'll get it. You almost got it this time. Good try. And then they'd write back, and all these people would write in, and I would write back to them. We had these nice relationships, and so AI can't beat that. You just can't. And uh, Google has the AI has had it for a long time for your search engine optimization stuff like that. Um, but but personalized, like people buy from people. In fact, and they buy from people they like. And so I don't think AI has a future in that. Of course, I didn't think texting was going to be a big deal either. So
no shit. And then in 10 years, we've got a robot fucking, I don't know, the hottest chick you can think of. And then now all of a sudden we do have a relationship with them. Who knows, man? The
yeah,
way I look at the AI with the relationship business is that it's going to facilitate the relationship. It's going to be able to kick them off in a way that without the AI, we wouldn't have been able to have the relationships going because it helps, reach out, find who to reach out with, connect with them, and then you can facilitate and begin the relationship. So there's something to that too. But I think I went a little off course because what I want to talk about with you, man, is this is the most fascinating part about what you've been able to accomplish is the brand space that you've been able to acquire in people's heads. You've been able to generate something that very few American leather companies have been able to tap into, which is something that you can be proud of, something that is going to last. What have your branding mindsets been moving forward since 2000 or 1999, 2006 till now? How did you build up that headspace, that brand in the people's minds?
yeah. So here's the thing: people like to deal with people, and they like to buy from people, and like
Yeah.
Kyle, they like to deal with you. Uh, a robot, nothing like that. They want to deal with. They don't want to deal with Saddleback Leather Corporation. They want to deal with Dave and Suzette, and real people. And so I've done a lot of videos. We started off doing videos when YouTube was fresh. It had just started the year before we posted our first videos. I had a bag uh, being attacked by a crocodile in Australia, and then this underwater video with these sharks swimming around my bag
Mhm.
full of fish guts,
Brilliant.
and people were like, "What?" And then I was just telling stories, and I, hey, here I am. Hey, Dave here with Saddleback Leather. Let me show you this new
Mm.
thing here. But first, let me show you where I am. Check this out right behind me. This is so cool. It's just my dog and I, and and then so people have been able. You're real. People like real people, and I say tell people if you're a jerk, yeah, don't get on video because they won't buy from you. People can sense if you're a nice person. And the facial muscles and how you smile and what you think about. And so I people are like, no, don't you don't want to show your kids. You don't want to show your kids online, and because someone might kidnap them or something like that. And I was like, dude, screw you. I'm doing it because I would like to see. They're buying from a person,
Mm.
and so yeah, I always did really authentic, a lot of videos, and um, but also like in our newsletters, I'd always try to keep them warm and talkative, and that depends on the industry you're in. If you're doing banking or some sort of finance. You don't use contractions, and it's more third person. But I wrote in a newsletter the other day. I started off, a man walks into the psychiatrist's office, and he's naked, wrapped in saran wrap, and the psychiatrist says, I can clearly see your nuts. And I was like, I send that in newsletters, okay? And people are like, dude, you can't do that in a newsletter. This is a professional company. Are you kidding me? What are you doing? You crazy? But I like it.
And it builds that connection. Other people like it too. So it's about the relationships at the end of the day. You look at them as individuals instead of as the target audience, as you might refer to them as. You look at it as a collection of individuals that you want to connect with, build those relationships with. And that's how you look at the branding at an individual level, that you're building relationships and connections with people.
Yeah, yeah. And what they also like someone who's confident. We all like Indiana Jones. We all like James Bond. We like, I don't know if did you ever see the Man from Snowy River movie?
Nope. Before
Dude,
my
you
time,
should.
man. What's it
You
called?
should. The Man from Snowy River.
Okay.
Dude, Jim Craig, dude's a stud. It's a really cool movie.
Check it
And
out.
but everyone likes those the guy who's got, they're like, oh no, it's James Bond. Oh, the villain's like, oh no, it's Indiana Jones, he survived. Oh no, it must be Jones. And so everyone likes that respected man. And respected people, they take a stand for things. They don't go, oh, I better not say, like we don't talk politics at all. There's zero. That's just too. But I'll say I like fishing. I like playing pool. I like God. I like my family. And people go, you just said God, I'm offended. And you're like, dude, then screw you. Get out of here. You go on, you little pussy willow. You'll be fine. Go find someone else who just vanilla doesn't talk about anything. And I send out the Christmas story, on Christmas. I just Luke chapter 2, and then I send out the Easter story. We post on social some, Leonardo da Vinci's or something about the crucifixion or something. If you don't like it, screw you. You can go, But if I want people who can eat the fish and spit out the bones,
Interesting.
But people who they have a packet of beef jerky and they eat the little silicone packet in the bottom because it's in there. They have to eat it because it was put in front of them. Dude, those guys are lame. So it's a tough life. So I would say being tolerant, being kind to people, all that stuff. That's all part of our marketing, but also, we travel a lot. So, which is really cool to be able to do that. And people like the going places. We don't go to like just Paris or London and we went to, Amsterdam, but we'll go to like an Al-Shabaab village on the southern border of Somalia or something with the kids, not on purpose. That was an accident, but we'll do, that was a mistake. That was like bad parenting. That was bad. But we'll do, it was an accident. But we'll do like Gabon, guerrilla trekking in Gabon, but we show people where we are, what we do. Anyway, we just have that. You just open up yourself, and people really like that.
There's something to that. You're speaking to the few individuals who are going to be the massive supporters of your company. You're building a connection with the 20% who are going to spend 80% of the money with you. And I don't think you look at it like that, but that's what it comes down to at the end of the day. You're building that relationship with those people, and you don't give a shit about if other people don't like it. They're not who you're trying to cater to. And that results in the people who you are trying to cater to liking you way more, because it's like, oh yeah, man, this guy's speaking my language. I like this. This guy's living the life that I want to live. I want to, and then they start to tap into like, oh, if only I had Indiana Jones's hat, then I would be more like him. And for you, it'd be like, if only I had this leather bag, I would be able to have this adventurous lifestyle too. People want to step into that hero role. and you've been able to kind of encapsulate and ensconce yourself in that role that people can relate with and want to support and buy from so that they can be a part of that club, which is interesting that you've been able to formulate that with a leather company. I mean, like, how the hell did you do that? How did you start that up to be able to have that affinity?
Well, yeah, I wasn't intending to do that. It just sort of happened. I thought, what would I like to hear? So I was telling stories
Mhm.
of me and my dog, and traveling around North Africa when I was single, and I just shared stories about what was going on, and I slip in the word briefcase every once in a while in the story, and, and camels in the Sahara or something like that, and yeah, but uh, it's I think it's just I don't know. I'm not trying to sell to everyone.
Right.
So I'm not. And here's the thing: if you are seeking, um, well, like I'll have a nephews every once in a while. We'll say, "Hey, Uncle Dave, I have this idea for a business. Can you loan me some money?" And I'll go, "Oh, well, let me hear about your business. Let's talk about it." And I give you some pointers, stuff like that. If they say, "Hey, Uncle Dave, I've got this business, and I sure use some of your wisdom," they're likely to get money.
Mhm.
If you're seeking out, this is really true with a lot of things. If you're seeking after money, you'll get wisdom. If you're seeking after wisdom,
Interesting.
you'll get money.
Mm.
And if you're seeking after fame, you'll you'll be miserable.
You get neither wisdom nor money.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And so, but if you're seeking after like people, caring for people, you're seeking after like, how can I help someone today? What good? Benjamin Franklin in his autobiography said, "What good shall I do today?"
Mm.
And that's what he has to ask himself every day. And if you're that kind of a person, then people want to do business with you. And so I don't try to think about how I can do that, but that's just the way I am. And so I'm genuinely um, interested in other people. So if a person isn't like that, there's a book that you can start by reading. It's called How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. It's written in the 30s or 40s. It's fantastic. But so that if you want to learn marketing, start with that book.
Mm.
That that'll take you up to the next level right there. So um, here's something else too. Um, I go after quality, 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 and then I educate. So I learn all I
Mm.
can about quality, and then quality hardware, and what is it about the hardware that makes it quality? Why is it hardened to such point that it doesn't break until it gets 750 pounds on it? Like, what about the different grades of leather? And how can you explain it to a 10-year-old, where a 10-year-old goes, "Oh, I get it."
Mm.
And so if you're doing lawn maintenance, or you're selling eyeglasses, or you're selling shoes, or you're selling, whatever it would be, man, go in, dig deep into the quality and understand what goes into a quality piece, and then teach. And people will love you for that. They'll love you. They're like, "Hey, this guy's not about money. He's about me being successful." That's being genuinely interested in the success of others. And so I say, you know what? My style's not for everybody. But I want to do is share with you all about leather, and so that when you do pick something that's more of your style, that you're not going to get taken. You're not going to get something low quality. Boom, we get it.
Right. You become
So
the expert in the marketplace by being the only one that cares enough to educate them, especially if it's not necessarily in your best interest. You could even mention competitors or other options. For example, instead of a leather bag, you can say, oh, and then there's this also this nylon bag, which has its positives, it might be lighter, for example. But, and then you use the word but. I use the word but for this because it kind of negates everything you put before that. You gain trust by making the message not appear biased. And then you say, but if you're looking for X, Y, Z, the real rugged durability that the generations are going to fight over into the future, then this is what so you can gain that expert authority in the marketplace because you cared enough to educate. There's something to that. Yeah.
Yeah. Educate. And uh and yeah, so that's the key. If you're selling crap, dude, you're just competing with China. That's brutal. Like if you're selling stuff that is just mediocre, like, dude, you have an option. Why wouldn't you just pick the very best and then go after that? Why would you pick, like, let's sell batteries that last an average amount of time? like, like, why would you do that? Like, why wouldn't you like get a battery that's like a super battery that like lasts for like 4 years, like turned on for 4 years, flashlight? Like, why wouldn't you do something, a nuclear battery? Kind of like, why would you do like anything, shoelaces? Or why would you be the financial planner um who's just, yeah, I kind of do stuff, I can make you a little bit of money, or at least I won't lose you money. I'm like, who wants to deal with that person?
Yeah, no shit,
Like,
man. Well, dude, one of
so
the things that you said was, and I found this interesting, when you put the chum in the leather bag and you sent it to the sharks. These are publicity stunts that can be super powerful in marketing. How did you know to do that as an idea? Like, for example, what comes to mind that's like that is Yeti's cooler being bear proof. There are and then that resonates so that even a kid can understand that your bag is good for up to 700 pounds without breaking. And so, or 750 pounds. So it's like one of the ideas you could hang like a rhinoceros from the fucking thing. And, it paints
mhm.
this visceral image of the durability of it. How did you know to use the shark example? And how can we use that with our marketing, with our branding, with whatever product or service we've got?
Well, go for coolness. Just, I mean, well, if you go for coolness, just go for cool. That's cool, right? Sharks, it's like
Yeah,
fish
yeah.
guts. That's cool. Like, it was sitting there on the reef, and we're down 60 feet, and the sharks are swimming around it. It was awesome. Like, so here's the thing. Um, so this is more of the philosophy of business, I guess, of marketing. So I live here in Azle, Texas, and people are like, "What are you doing here in Azle? Like, this is like super small, right?" So not long ago, we got our third breakfast restaurant, and we're like, "Sweet, we have Azle Cafe, we have Moe's, and then we have CJ's Cafe." So we go over there, and I always judge a restaurant by their biscuits and gravy. And so I was eating it, and the owner came over. This older lady, she comes over. She's real spunky and fun, and she said, "Hey, how's the biscuits and gravy? What'd you think?" And I said, "Oh, um, well, it was equally as good as Moe's and Azle Cafe." And so I didn't know what to say, right? It was just average. And she goes, "Oh, okay." And so then I said, "Hey, so would you like a suggestion?" And she goes, "Yeah. What you got?" And I said, "You can go on the internet and you can look up best biscuits and gravy recipe, and then you can make a whole bunch of them. It doesn't take much more effort to make one over another one. And then you can have like 4 or 5 plates. You let your customers sample them. And which one do you like? 1, 2, 3, or 4 or 5? And then your family, which one do you like? And then you pick, hey, number 2 was the best one. And then you sell that one. It doesn't take much more to be the best. You just have to plan for it. You just have to plan to be the best at it. And so instead of selling, like, we're going to start a battery company or a sock company. I'm going to sell socks, or I'm going to sell shoelaces. You'd have the best shoelaces in the world. At least try, and you'll be successful. So she goes, when I said about the biscuits rave, she goes, "Oh, thanks." And so I was like, so then I came back 6 months later, and she goes, I go, "How's business?" She goes, "Oh, it's kind of slow. If only people would hear about us." And I'm thinking word of mouth would do that if you had good biscuits and gravy. But she goes, if only people can hear about it, it's pretty slow. I said, would you like an idea? She said, yeah, sure. I said, what if you made the biggest pancake? Like, go for the biggest, the best, not the best tasting pancake, because everyone will claim that. So go after the biggest pancake in Texas. Or you could go after like the biggest Texas shaped pancake, and you have blueberries up in the panhandle, and in the West Texas, you have pecans, and in the South, you have, strawberries, and then you have plains up in the plain, and man, you're going to have a line out the door as seen on the Food Channel. And
Hmm.
and she was like, oh yeah, thanks. I was like, okay, so why not, if you're going to go after a product, do your marketing, why would you go, hey, let's do an average video, let's do something that will maybe crack a smile, let's kind of educate people. Like, why wouldn't you try, if you're selling, like cleaning services, why wouldn't you like go all out? Like, here's some extreme ways to clean like dead animal out of your couch in case you're dead, your animal died, a rat died under the cushions. Like, here's what do you do? Here's, you were whatever thing, and
Interesting.
make videos all about that, and just educate, but make them interesting, and try. Okay, so a skunk gets into your house. How do you clean? And you scared him, and he squirted on the wall and on the carpet. Now what do you do? And then teach and explain, but make it fun. Why would you just go, here's how to clean a countertop? So if you want to be, you need to be the expert in your area, or at least try. And you may not be the best, but at least try, and people get behind that.
So you're talking about going to the extremes because you can look at it as a spectrum. If you're selling the cleaning for skunks, you could say so if I don't know, you let some food rot in the kitchen, like this, like it's an average story, right? You're talking about going for the sharks with the fish guts in the bag in the ocean. You're having that. What, so the question really that you ask yourself is, what's the most extreme example that I can give that's interesting, that sparks controversy, that it really sparks an emotional reaction in somebody that is memorable. For example, the crocodiles with your bag. It's like you went for the massive extremes as the PR stunt that you're pulling, and then you use that as your leverage in your marketing so that you're different than everybody else. Same with Yeti's coolers. Same with the way that you pulled the fish guts in the bag. You went for the maximum extreme. Is that the way you look at it? What's your thought process when it comes to developing these stunts? Hey, I hope you're enjoying the podcast, and I want to let you know that I've got a free book that you can get if you want to tap into more of these resources, and you can get that for free at kylesbook.com. Back to the podcast.
Well, it's more coolness. What do
You
I
just look
think
at it
is
like, what's
cool?
cool? What would be cool, man?
What would be cool? So we I threw a bag. I tied up a duffel bag to. It was a 27 inches, pretty good size. And we were in Zambia, and we just finished walking with some lions, and it was really cool. And I did a flight bag, our briefcase, while I was walking with one. Then I swatted him in the butt. There were three of them, and then we just kept walking. I was explaining it, and then we threw this bag into the crocodile pit, and they started doing death rolls on it. It was awesome. And if I think it would be cool, like, I mean, so the way you start, the way you get good at doing videos like that is doing videos like that. So you just have to keep on doing it and doing it and doing it. Our first viral video was number 223, and it was how to knock off a bag. And it made it on NPR radio. I got an interview with Kai Risdall, and it made it all over the place. And I mean, it was a really cool video, but it took 222, like 12,000 views, 3,000 views, 1,800 views, 353 views to get one that just, exploded. So you have to just keep on trying them and doing them. That's the key to playing guitar, public speaking, painting, photography. You can't just read a book. You have to do it. So just keep on trying different videos. You'll see one that works. You might find yourself at the zookeeper, like, okay, so you have cat urine on your, if you're a cleaning business, you have cat urine on your couch. I'm going to go behind this line who's known to spray people with their urine. And then you get in a cage with a skunk. And you're like, come here, skunky, skunky, skunky. Everyone's going to love you. And if they like you, they'll buy from you.
Mm. You know, it's
So it
easy to
doesn't have to
say
be.
like you just got to be cool, man. Like I get it, and but it's hard to find it in actual practice. You're saying that you're not going to know what they're going to react to, so you just got to test a lot. How do you know what to
Yeah.
test? How do you know what's going to be cool to even try to test it to begin with?
So here's what I think. I think I make things for people like me. Okay. And then I just go find people who have my same tastes.
Mm,
That's it.
mm,
And so if I don't like it, like the Apple Watch, like I don't have one, and I think they're horrible. I think, why would I want to have a distracting little computer on my wrist? And and so when they first came out, Apple let me buy them ahead of time because we had an audience. And so I bought one, a small one and a large one. My wife and I. She's like, "Man, Gehenna, no, that thing is horrible. It's a terrible looking thing. Why would I ever? How would I ever use it?" And I got mine. I put it on. I was like, and everyone's like, "Dude, you got to make wristwatch bands. You got to make watch bands. You'll make millions of dollars." And I go,
mm.
"No, because I think they're stupid. They're a distraction. They take away from your life. They don't scratch an itch. Not a chance."
You
And
took a
so
stance. Yeah.
I said no. And so we had a contest, and I gave them away because I didn't want them. Because why would I want a distracting little computer to take away from my parenting, from my wife, from my work, and there's little buzzes on my wrist? No offense. Well, offense if you have
Offense.
one.
That's the whole point, right? You see, because you're not
Offense.
trying to resonate with the people that you're not. Yeah, I mean, like you base it off of you, which is fascinating because a lot of people when they're marketing something, they would base it off the target audience and try to find who's the ideal. But you're just looking at it as you simplify the hell out of it. You say, what would I find cool? What do I like? What do I not like? And then you just push your marketing out there and you resonate with other people who are similar to you, and that attracts the target audience of the bag buyers of the leather products based on who are similar to you. You take the hero role, kind of like the Crocodile Dundee or the James Bond. You take that Indiana Jones role instead of trying to position the audience as the hero. You take a firm stance and you're not afraid to tell it how it is, how you think it should be, how you think how you perceive it, and that resonates with others like you. What do you say to somebody who says to base their marketing and branding off of the audience instead of you?
um well, that works too. I mean,
Okay.
it
Okay.
does. It works too. So I can't say that I do it right and everybody else does it wrong or
I'm
something.
surprised.
Uh,
I thought for sure you would. Oh no, that's bullshit. Like this is the way to do it. This is the only way.
no, 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 no. It works for me. And so there are a lot of different ways, many ways to skin a cat. And so but I just found, here's what I found over the years, that there are probably about 9 different styles of people out there as far as what pertain to leather bags and stuff. You
Okay.
have the Ferrari kind of, they like racing stripes, red, black, silver, stainless steel. You have people raised in Chicago who are in glass buildings who might like edges like that. You get the logger, super rugged ones. You get the um, cowboys. You get Western tooled Roy on my belt kind of thing. You get all of these. You get the hippies, and there are about 9 different styles out there. You get the James Bond professional, clean. There, yeah, 9 different styles. And so, what I do is I go after people who have my style, and then, and so, how do I know if I'm designing right? Well, I like it, and how do I know if they'll like it? I like it, and then I just have to get it out in front of them so they can see it. And so that's the part of marketing that you have to spend a lot of time getting your audience to do it. But here's the thing too. So one of the things too is I've said, um, what's our brand? This is a really important thing for branding. So if someone's starting a company, or they're kind of new at it, they don't know much about brand. So branding is the way you make people, what people think about when they think about the company that you're doing. What are, like, how do you make them feel is what it is.
Feelings.
Your
Yes.
your
Yeah.
feelings. How do you make them feel? So
Yeah.
marketing is getting them to do something, and branding is getting them to feel something. And so
Are they
I
different?
don't.
To me, those look like one and the same. You make decisions based on feelings most of the time as humans. So it's like, is there a dichotomy there? So therefore, is there a difference between branding and marketing with those two definitions? Because to make a decision, it's based on a feeling most of the time. We're irrational beings. It's rarely based purely on logic, unless you're some like MIT physicist who calculates everything. So it is about the feelings that your brand generates, and then the feelings spike or trigger the actions. What do you think?
So what we found is, so our brand, like you got a homeless guy down the street, and he's got his own brand. He's got a cowboy hat. He's got, the iPad. It has this never. It's kind of. Have you seen that?
The way it's
I'm on
zoomed
an
in
iPad.
and out. Yeah,
It's coming in
yeah.
and out, and it's kind of cool. It has Jesus over my shoulder here.
Yeah.
But it's chosen that. Kyle, for some reason, it's chosen that. But so he's got his own brand. He's kind of like this rugged, tough guy. He's funny. You always see him smoking cigars. You're like, how does he get cigars? He's poor, And he's got his own little brand, his own personal brand. He's a helpful one, but he's drunk a lot. He has his own little personal brand. Everyone's got a brand of what people think about when he's the street cowboy,
Hmm.
and that's his brand. And so everyone's got kind of a brand. So what I did is I asked customers. I saw one of our customer service reps saying, well, how, in her emails, well, howdy, cowboy. What's happening? We're over here just punching doggies, just roping cattle. What's going on with you today? And I was like, no, no, this is terrible. Like, it's not our style. It's not who we are.
Hmm.
And then someone else was my sister-in-law. She was doing customer service, and she said, well, hang ten, bro. Like Santa Barbara dreadlock surfer girl, barefoot, sleeps in a hammock on the beach kind of thing. And I was like, no, 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 this isn't good. So I asked around the company, I sent a questionnaire. I said, if we were a kind of food, what would Saddleback, what pictures come to mind?
Hmm.
And if we were a form of transportation, what would come to your mind with that? And so the food was like, oh, we're barbecue and
That's
stuff.
what
And
I
I go,
thought of,
no.
like ribs and wings, that kind of a style. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, yeah, like beef steak, peppered steak,
Pepper. Yeah.
pecan pie, kind of rough, not banana cream pie,
True. Right.
not just cheesecake. We're like turtle pie. We're rugged and rough textures and flavors. If we were a tree, we wouldn't be an aspen. We would be like an oak, or like a mesquite with all the heavy bark and stuff.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, and so went through, like, so I asked him who would star in one of our movies, anyone from history. Oh, John
Chuck
Wayne.
Norris.
Yeah, but everyone was like, and the customers like, cowboy boots, John Wayne, all these things. So because we have the name Saddle in our
Yeah, true.
brand.
Yeah, yeah.
So I hadn't defined my brand. And so everyone just took it what they assumed it was.
Mm,
And,
mm,
leather and and saddle and
yeah.
horses. And so I had to define it. And so we put together a brand guide. And I said, if there was a Saddleback movie and it was going to be filmed in a state or a region, where would we do it? And
These are interesting questions.
it was like, in the desert, uh, in a rugged desert. It was Oregon, it was Montana, it was, Croatia, it was you know, in the Ural Mountains of Russia. It was mountainous and rugged and tough, and it wasn't. But it wasn't like Kansas, or it wasn't in Chicago, or it wasn't in. Um, uh, what kind of transportation would be like an old deuce and a half military truck or an old Toyota Land Cruiser? It wouldn't be a lower Jeep, with neon lights under it. It would be maybe an old Mustang, but something maybe rugged, old, just there's just a canoe. A canoe would be one. Um, an old what is it, that infield uh, Royal motorcycle, kind of like an old James Dean motorcycle.
Oh yeah.
It wouldn't be necessarily a Harley Davidson. It would be a little more rare. So anyway, I went through all of the foods and movies. What type of art? Maybe a blank canvas. What kind of plant would it be? It'd be like a thistle, a wildflower. Maybe it'd be, hops. Those are really cool looking. Maybe it'd be, these different. We had all these anyway, but it helped us to define the brand and what colors and what which actors would be in there. Indiana Jones, Chris Pratt, he's a fun guy. It would have been maybe Humphrey Bogart, maybe. Anyway, I went through all of that branding stuff, and it really helped us to really think about what's important to us and what's not, and how we should do our videos, how we should do what props should we have, and what fits videos. All of that kind of stuff that determined all of it. So when we hire someone new, we give that to them, and we're not like, "Hi, my name's Brenda, my name's Star, and I'm
Star
or whatever, Candy." And
oh God.
no offense if your wife's name's Star or Candy,
but I don't think anybody's wife's name Star Candy. Maybe in the past when they were a freaking stripper, but that was the previous.
That was just stage name. Yeah, Trixie or something. So we put the brand guide together, and what it helped me do is to really think about the brand. And so the more you can think about the brand, the more you can think about education, the more it affects your thinking.
Even the books you got behind you, the maps, it's all kind of tailored into the brand that you've talked about. You texturalize. It's like you create a texture as opposed to looking at it a 2D image. You've got the four-dimensional vision going into taking into multiple senses, the smells, the touch, the taste, the coral. I mean, like it's fascinating what how you looked at the brand. You didn't just look at it as though this is the product. You took it to totally different contexts, and that was able to tell you, okay, so this is what but the question still remains, what about the client's perception of it? Because you ask more so internally. So why not ask the clients what they think, the food that comes to mind when they think of your brand? And then how does that actually help you to position your marketing once you have this contextualized identity of all the different flavors of it?
That's interesting. That would be cool. What kind of dessert would you say that we are, kind of thing?
Kind of dessert, yeah.
Or what kind of main course? Or lobster? Are we spaghetti? Are we like, what are we? That'd be really cool. And then you could find out, oh crap. Or you go, hey, this is pretty cool. They have some good ideas. What kind of music are we?
Then how do you take that and position your marketing around it?
It was just a fun exercise. It didn't really
but it changes because it really makes your brand and your mind more dimensionalized. So you're able to take these foreign concepts and kind of embed it into the perception that you want to instill, or you lean in, kind of tells you what to lean into because it's already what you're known for. You get what I mean? If you don't want to be shifting to the hang 10 dude, if you guys are more so the known as and because like you don't want to change what you're known for in the marketplace too much. You can't, you own a certain space of real estate in the mind. Like in Japan, Honda couldn't sell cars because they were known as a motorcycle company. They couldn't shift the perception to being a car company. Nobody wanted to buy a car from a motorcycle company. So you don't want to be changing. So what you're really talking about is leaning into the perceptions of the brand in unique and interesting ways, and then finding ways to push that further deeper into the psyche of the people you're selling to.
Yeah, yeah. And when they resonate with it,
Right.
then they go, hey, these are my people. And they
Yeah.
start having like, they feel like, hey, these guys are me. I'm like, I have community here. Like, this is
Right.
where I'm accepted. And there's a feeling of the community that, it's interesting. We just got back from Mexico. We have a membership club at Saddleback. And so um, we offered a trip to a leather tour down to central Mexico to our factory, and they start off at the tannery, and then they go to our school, and then they go to the factory, and they get to see the full leather all the way, well, all that we're about. And then they stayed in the city of Guanajuato, and we hung out for a few days. It was really cool. Man, it couldn't have been more diverse. The group, it was super diverse. Everyone got along perfectly well. Like everyone's like, it was like speed dating almost at table at dinner. Hey, tell me about yourself. Hey, tell me about yourself. And everyone's like got along with everyone. And it was just laughter and fun. And there were 16 people who went. Um, and it was really cool, but they were very diverse. Um, but they all valued authenticity.
Mm.
They all valued being good to people. These are things that no one disagrees with being good to people. Maybe some people, but generally, no one disagrees with that. But they were more focused on kindness and
Mm.
caring. And so anyway, yeah, we just found people who value the same things that we value.
Interesting. Dude, I love it. I think that's a good place to leave it. Fascinating story. The way that you look at the perception of the clients and the way that you lean into that is interesting. It's a way that I've never heard of branding and marketing and the way you're thinking about connecting with people. It's a unique viewpoint. I certainly haven't heard of anybody comparing their brand to a cheesecake or it's finding what kind of foods and
Yeah.
flavors and tastes and smells come to mind when you think of the brand. It's an interesting way of thinking about it, man. So thank you, dude. Seriously, what else you got to add before we kick this off here?
So so what happens is you'll end up kind of gravitating towards other brands that are like you, that are like-minded.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure as far as the kind of the ethos of Yeti, but they put our stuff in their videos all the time. We put their stuff in our videos. I know the social media guy
Mm.
for them, or I used to be, um, and we like each other. Like
Right.
Yeti and Saddleback Leather,
Yes.
we're friends.
Mm.
Um, Toyota, I designed the interior for a Tundra, and it comes out. Uh, I get it at the end of April, and uh, and it's really, really, really cool. But as I was digging in, Toyota's founding principles are um, respect everyone. That you're not more important than anyone else. You have more responsibilities, but you're not more important as a person.
Mm.
Um, what was the humility? Don't take credit for other people's work. Don't brag. Just humble. Put your head down and do good work. Hard work, innovation, and then they said respect for all religious thought. And those are the 5 founding principles of an automotive company. And everyone I know who works at Toyota, they're like, dude, our brands are so aligned. Toyota and Saddleback, like in fact, they had said, one of the high ups, he said, we've never seen a brand so aligned with Toyota as we have with Saddleback Leather.
Mm.
And so, um, it's a lot easier to do business with nice people who are others focused. Just so
Right.
much nicer. When we interview people, I'll say, so what, you ever volunteer for anything? And oh, yeah, no. But when I find someone who says, "Oh yeah, well, I volunteer on the weekends at this old folks home. I go and I play guitar for them, and I go over here and their life is serving others." Man, everyone just wants to be around those people, and so um, that's it's a big part of our success is that we care for people.
Mm.
We really, really care for people. And so, yeah, it's just in us.
And
And
that
so
opens up
people,
the opportunity for joint ventures and strategic partnerships, like with Yeti, with Toyota, the other companies that resonate with the same people for the same values, the same reasons. You could have partnerships with them and be able to have collaborations because you have the same target audience. You're helping the same people and you're known for the same things. And that's why when I was talking about your brand, the Yeti brand came to mind. And then it turns out that you're actually in cahoots with,
yeah,
so it's unconsciously these things come up. So man, dude, we got to kick it off here, brother. But thank you for sharing the way that you view your brand. Fascinating way of looking at things. So thank
yeah,
you.
Kyle, thanks for having me on. It's a real honor to come on. I appreciate you taking the time out.
I appreciate you, man, for real. So we'll keep in touch, man. Seriously, thank you again.
All right. All right. Take care.
All right, take it easy, Dave. Bye.
All right. I hope you enjoyed that podcast episode. And if you want to get a free copy of my book, go to kylesbook.com and you can get a copy there. I'll talk with you soon.